Hello YouTube, not the regular video. I would show you what I've done to the Craftsman. I changed it to direct steering, but I didn't make a video on that because I had no clue what I was doing. But until I get that home and explain what I did, the video on my new compound bow. I have not done anything with archery before. I've always wanted to, never really did it. Then I seen this at a gun show. Decided to give it a try. Paid a little too much for it, but it happens when you get into something you don't know what you're doing. But I can tell you a little bit about the bow. Wait. Alright. But let's see. Door. I can name off a few parts of the bow. When I bought this, there was no front sight, which, since I didn't know much about compound bows, I would have asked for a little cheaper price. So we have the front sight. It's just a 3-pin front sight. Arrow rest. We have the limbs with the cams. These two strings are called cables. This is the actual bowstring. You have the kisser. There's a D loop. Just a that thing. This is a stabilizer. Stabilize the bow so it's not as floppy. And inline peep slate, which is this setup here. You can get them tubeless. They take a bit to serve in there easily. And then we have quick release. It hooks onto the D loop. Pull it back and pull the trigger. Let's go. You still have to sight it in a bit. It's got 60 to 70 pound draw. And I sighted in for 10 yards, which will be pretty close at 20 yards. And I'll show you guys what I can do with it. Alright, so I needed to find something to shoot at. When I first got the bow, I was at my friend's house. I was on a farm, so we shot at hay bales. It was good, but I don't live on a farm. The house and a lot in the middle of a field. So I first made this one. Works good. Well, worked good. It's just a cardboard box filled with plastic feed bags from my work, but an issue. The arrows kept ripping the box and pulling the bags through. I did end up messing up an arrow doing that, because they would hit, go in, and then another one hit in the close area, angled, and scraped off the other arrow. And the carbon fiber arrow, 100% carbon, 400 grams. Flex first. The warning is, because if you do not test your arrows before you shoot them, the power of the bow will make the arrow flex, and if it's cracked or anything, it'll break and will lodge itself into this part of your hand, which won't be pleasant for anybody under any circumstances. You flex them, you listen for any cracking, and then you can feel it as well to see if you can feel any fibers sticking out. You don't have to flex it every time you shoot it. Just if you get a grouping of them all in an area like this, it's best to check them to make sure, or if they get dropped and someone steps on them, because they will snap in half and lodge itself into the back of your hand. It's never good. So I tried using that one, didn't work. So then I went out to the hardware store, bought Duro foam insulation. Works good. Well, I haven't tried it yet though. It's 2 inches thick. So I got another box, and I cut a bunch of squares and placed them into the box. So it's 16 inches of foam, and it's fairly good stuff. Doesn't go in there too well. Well, it'll stop an arrow through. Cut squares like that pretty well. It should stop my arrows. I'm hoping so. 16 inches of foam. I'm going to be shooting them into the side, not straight on because of these gaps here, which the arrow will probably hit once in a while. I'll set everything up and we'll give it a test run to see if the arrows will get stopped or if they'll pass right on into it and hit the other side. Back here at the target for the archery. This is what I was using to set up my iPod to record it. The iPod just gets wedged in between these three, holds it up, doesn't fall over like it did in the last video I tried to make. Here's what I was aiming for. The first shot, which was this one, a little to the little, well, I was aiming for here, so it hit right on where I was aiming for. Second shot, the light on the attachment, a little low. Do have to tweak the sight a bit. Then third shot was this one. I was aiming for this picture. It's a little bit to the left. The 1, 2, 3, fourth shot. I was aiming right for this thing. Got it. And then the last shot, I was aiming for the middle again, which is this arrow, which hit where I was aiming again. That's only at 10 yards. It really sucks when you try and sight in a bow, especially the compound bow, in the winter. Last time I did this, the snowbanks were a little higher. I was trying at 20 yards. I missed with one arrow. It actually hit the top of the box, went down through, and I chased it about 40 yards in that field. It was skipping across the ice, leaving little tracks where it went in. You guys can see that. Just leave a groove, go back in the air, leave another groove, tracked it for about 40 yards into the field before it finally hit, went in under the ice. Then I had to get a shovel to get it back out. So that stopped me for a bit. The snow's gone down a lot. And finally was able to finish this video I started about 2 weeks ago. So I can show you what the arrow penetration is like. It's Durafoam. 16 inches of foam, and it uses about 14 inches of it. It'll hold up for a while, and when it does wear down finally, just turn it around, maybe use the front end, the sides, if it ever comes to that point. Looks a lot better than this box. That's what I use. The Durafoam really does hold up. They're not overly hard to pull out. You can do it with one hand. And I was able to fix some of the fletching on my arrows. You can see that one. It's a little lot shinier on that orange fletching. I had to super glue a couple of them back on because there was a horrible crosswind here one day and I was shooting it and 2 of my arrows lost a piece of fletching. Well, if you like this and you want to see more of this on my channel, like it, thumbs up, comment, and if you have any questions, I'm learning this as well. If you have any pointers, I figured out how not to shoot a bow when I shot it. I don't know if you can see a little bit of green there in the middle. That was a lot bigger. It was about the size of my palm on my forearm because I locked my elbow so it was in instead of bending it. So the bowstring actually came down and smacked it. The bruise was there for a good 4 or 5 days. It was hurt. Remember, bend your elbow. Do not lock it, because you will learn quickly what not to do. Have a wonderful day, guys.